life comes with a lot of things that are already pre-established, or at least appearing to lie dormant. And this does not imply that they are. Hey, hey, what is going on? What is going on, everyone? What is going on? Welcome to the broadcast. This is Men's Morning Check-In. My name is Curtis Brooks, and I am your host. Caught me off guard there for a moment there, but in any event, guys, we got a great show in front of you. Today is Wednesday, and that means it is wow. This is absolutely awesome. So, in any event, I'm looking here on not sidetracked here. I'm looking here on LinkedIn here, guys. So I want to say thanks for checking in. Thanks for visiting. But again, guys, today is Wednesday, and that means it is Why Leadership Matters Wednesday, guys. So I'm excited about being here. Guys, the premises of this broadcast is that we are asking men to check in. So whether you're checking in with this broadcast or checking in with someone who creates a safe space for you, please do so, guys. All too often, us men are taking our lives, guys. Literally, we're taking our lives, and it is absolutely unfortunate for various different reasons, guys. We are taking our lives, and we want to try and put an end to that. So let's try and do our part. And whether you know the person or not, just to say, hey, man, hey, how's it going? How you doing? Or whatever. Say something, guys, to let you know, to let each other know, hey, you matter. And let's do our best, guys. It's hard work being a man, and regardless of what anyone else says. It is a duty, it's a chore, it's a position, guys. So it's a lot of hard work that comes with this stuff. It's not easy, but nevertheless, yeah, we got a great show for you guys. We're streaming to multiple platforms. Facebook, over on Facebook, we're at Life Coaching, the number 4 men. Again, over on Facebook, Life Coaching, the number 4 men on Facebook. Also on YouTube, Life Coaching for Men, and that's Life Coaching for Men spelled out as it sounds, Life Coaching for Men over on YouTube. And finally, over here on LinkedIn. So you can search for me on LinkedIn under the name Curtis Brooks. You'll find me there. I'm pretty active here on LinkedIn. So, guys, yeah, we got a great show for you. Again, today is Wednesday. That means it's Why Leadership Matters Wednesday. And guys, it's often I look up definitions. I like to look up definitions, and so I looked the definition for the word leadership, and it was pretty scarce, guys. It's pretty sad. Any event, so it really kind of leads us to making up our own definition. I'm not making my own definition. I'm just kind of reading it here from the Merriam-Webster's dictionary here, guys. So it reads the first definition of leadership. It reads the office or position of a leader. Number two, capacity to lead. And we all have the capacity to lead. We all have the capacity to lead. Number three, the act or instance of leading. And so we want to dive more into that, not necessarily the definitions that Merriam-Webster's are giving, but we want to dive into the point, or at least to the place of defining leadership and what does it mean to us. And oftentimes we can look at leadership coming from a perspective of us working a business or being a leader on a job or some kind of organization, and that's not always the case. And I think it's unfortunate. A lot of us as people, men as well, we miss the definition of leadership, and or at least what Merriam-Webster says. It's pretty scarce, and it just kind of leads us to making up our own definition, and that's okay if that fits for you, but the challenge is a lot of people may not understand your definition of leadership. And so what we're led with, or what we're left with, is that we're left with just a lack of true understanding, a lack of true depth to what leadership is. And so today we're going to kind of define it a little bit more. So we're going to use a person who I call one of my favorite leaders, and he starts off in the Bible. His name is Moses, and he attempts to lead, or at least is called to lead. Before he gets to that place, he's attempting to lead, but he's called to lead. He's called to lead by the one and only God Himself, and God recognizes that His people need a leader. He recognizes people needs a leader, and so in doing so, God calls Moses to lead. And Moses says, I want to read this scripture to you really quick here. Moses says, God, I'm not fit for this. And I want to say it's probably with most of us as men. God, I'm not fit for this. So Moses says, and this is the Amplified of the book of Exodus, chapter 4, verse 10. It says, Moses says, then Moses said to the Lord, please, Lord, I am not a man of words, eloquent, fluent of speech, he says, neither before, since you have spoken to your servant. So they've got this dialogue that's been going on. And Moses says, I'm slow to speech and tongue. So there's some kind of speech impediment, stuttering issue, or something going on that Moses is dealing with. And this situation prevents Moses from seeing himself as a leader, at least chosen by God. So, just a little background. Moses, at this point, Moses, or even before God had chosen Moses, God is absolutely aware of Moses, what Moses had done. He had killed a man with his bare hands. Some gentleman who had taken he had killed him with his bare hands. And then Moses, at some point, he began to run for his life in fear of being perhaps found out. Yesterday, I talked about reputation, how important reputation is not always important. So, in this instance, Moses found himself running from a situation that he could not change, embarrassed, and probably hey, that's not me. But he was led to that place. He came to that place, and in doing so, he unfortunately killed this man with his bare hands. And so he ran, and God found him, and obviously he knew where he was at. But so God said, well, Moses, I want you to lead this group of people out of Egypt. And Moses, what I read to you in the book of Exodus, chapter 4, verse 10, he says, Lord, not me. No, please, Lord, not me. And I would suspect that is the case, or the issue with most of us as men, not me. And I would say, even for me growing up, I not necessarily didn't want to lead. I really didn't have a model to show me how to lead. Mom was there, and she did her best. And I would suspect that is a lot of other men's situation as well. Yeah, I was raised by a single mom for many years, but there's a lot more in me that sometimes women can't bring out of us as men, can't bring that leader out of us. And so here was my situation, growing up without a father, a biological father, and eventually coming to a place where I would have to learn how to lead. And that means looking at many, many examples, such as the one I just read to you, Moses, the man who had killed another man with his own hands, fleeing for his life, perhaps reputation, fleeing for his life, or he may be found out, figured out. And I mean, this can go for a lot of different things, actually. Think about it. There are some men who have murdered other men, some men who have spoken ill of another man, some men who are abusive. Guys, yeah, I'm diving in because sometimes we have to look at ourselves in the mirror. Sometimes we have to look at ourselves in the mirror, guys. I know it's tough for a Wednesday, but this is what it is, guys. Sometimes we have to look in this mirror. And we, like Moses, God, look at my history, man. God, you see this. Look at my history. And you calling me to lead? God is essentially saying, yes, I call you to lead. I call you to lead. And I would even suspect that most of us as men, our reluctancy to take the lead is having to do with our history, or having to do with we're raised by a single mother. She had a lot on her plate. Like myself, I have two other brothers and sisters. So mom had a lot on her plate. Some of it could have been by choice, some of it could not. But she had a lot to deal with. And it wasn't necessarily her job to show me how to be a man. And I don't even know if that's what I was looking for mom to do. But here I was. And here we are as men, having our own families to lead. And most cases, and a lot of cases, probably not doing our best at it. And it very well could be because of our history. At least that's what Moses was saying to God. It's my history, God. I can't do this. I can't do this, God. Choose someone else. And we find out that God would later choose someone else to help Moses lead. But Moses wasn't off the hook. And just as it is with us, men, we're not off the hook. We're not off the hook. And so here's the thing, it doesn't matter what anyone says because God Himself spoke of us as men to lead, to take our rightful places, to take our position as leaders. And that's what we're going to do. And all too often in this life that we have lived, some full and not so full by others, we've allowed the naysayers to tell us who we are. And I'm talking about men. We've allowed our history or our lack of not feeling that we're qualified, not feeling that we had enough tools or the tool, or not feeling that we were created to be a leader. But God says otherwise, man. God says otherwise. And I would even suspect there was a difference between Adam and Eve in the garden when that crucial time had come when God said, Adam, where are you? And Adam showed up and said, hey, God, I was afraid. I heard you, but I was afraid. And he says, I was naked. And God says, well, Adam, who told you were naked? Much like us. Who told you that you couldn't be a leader? Who told you you couldn't lead? Because that's what I created you from the beginning. That's what I placed in you from the very beginning. Another quick story, guys, here before we wrap it up here. We got a few minutes here. I want to go to a story in the Bible. It shows where Jesus is talking to a man at the pool of Bethesda. This man had been at the pool for about 38 years, the scriptures say. And it's out of the book of John, chapter 5, verse 4. So the story goes as John is sharing the story. The story says that there was a certain time throughout the year that this angel appeared. And so when this angel appeared, this angel would trouble the water. And it was believed that these people who laid by the pool, who were lame and sick and missing limbs and deaf and blind, and just having, just dealing with some life issues, life stuff. And that this particular time, the waters would be troubled by the angels. And yet there was this man here, as Jesus talking to, John is telling a story, that Jesus is talking to this man who has been by the pool for 38 years. And Jesus says to the man, I'm going to read it to you verbatim here out of the King James Bible here, John chapter 5, verse 6. It says, when Jesus saw the man lie in his position for a long time, in that case, he said unto the man, will thou be made whole? And I think life is saying to us, in most cases, will thou be made whole? Guys, this leadership role is not going to come to us without pressure, man. That's just what it is, man. That's just what it is. And I would suspect even this man here at the pool of Bethesda who laid in this situation for 38 years, guys, he was absolutely in a situation because here we're not talking about he was leader of an organization or a leader of a family, but taking the lead in his own life, taking the lead in his own life, because he goes on to tell Jesus that, well, wait a minute, before he even asks the question, Jesus says, well, will thou be made whole? But before the man asks the question, he tells Jesus a story, and I would suspect that's often what we're doing, much like what Moses did. He had a story for him, but Jesus' question was to him, will thou be made whole? You have an opportunity now, man. The King of Kings is talking to you. Will thou be made whole? Or will you remain in your situation? Or does your reputation precede itself, given that story, in regards to why you can't take the lead as the men in your own household? Why you can't step up and take the lead as the father that you need to be to your children? the husband that you need to be to your wife? What's your story? Well, God explains to Moses that you're not going to be let off the hook. This is your position, man. This is your position. So, guys, as we wrap it up, I want to leave you with here is that, yeah, this is your position. Take it. It's not a matter of what you don't want to do. It's a matter of what you were created for, man. It's a matter of what you were created for. No more shrinking back, gentlemen. No more shrinking back. We've all been dealt with a particular hand, and that's life, man. That's life. So no more shrinking back. If you need to check in, whether it be this broadcast or check in with someone that you can trust, let's check in. Let's do what we have to do and forge ahead. And let's not allow the naysayers. Let's not allow the naysayers to dictate what position we play when God Himself has created men, created all of us the ability to lead, to become leaders. God Himself spoke this. So it's not a matter of what I think about you or anyone else or any group of people. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So that being said, guys, before we wrap it up here, I have a 2-day men's conference taking place in the Houston, Texas area, guys. It is entitled Rewriting Success and Revolutionizing Well-Being, the ultimate 2-day men's conference taking place here in the month of October. That is this year, October the 20th and the 21st. That is a Friday and Saturday, gentlemen. And it is being held again in the Houston, Texas area. It is a hybrid conference, so that means there is a virtual component to it and also the in-person component to it. So we'd love to have you on either end. So whether you're watching from your home, your office, or with other men or your family watching the broadcast, we'd love to have you take part of it. And also, again, the in-person, we'd love to see you there. Taking place in the month of October, October 2023, the 20th and the 21st of October. That is a Friday and Saturday. Doors open at 7 p.m. And I'm going to give you the link that you will need to check out. That is going to be bit.ly the men's conference. So go check that link out. Read the content there. That's on the website there, and also make sure that you reserve your seat today, guys. So the tickets, the cost of the tickets will go up as we move closer to the timing of the conference. So we'd love to see you there, guys. We're going to say goodbye and ciao for now. We'll talk with you tomorrow. Bye bye. Why? Because obviously these
And here with this amazing man.
life comes with a lot of things that are already pre-established, or at least appearing to lie dormant. This does not imply